Hi peeps, it's Mike. This is a review on Doctor Strange. My experience, the video game, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the villain to Dormammu. Fun game. Superhero Squad show. I watched that at my my grandma's house. It was like a comedy animated show. My expectations, they were high, but not like, oh, this is going to be the greatest thing ever when it was first coming out. And I saw it in the theater with my uncle and cousin. Pretty good origin film with some issues, but thankfully it doesn't tarnish the entire experience. One issue with the villains, you either cut one of them out or have a longer runtime to flesh them out. There's great visuals, especially with the building action sequence. The acting, Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange was good, always delivers. Rachel McAdams, Christine, gives a good performance, shows worry and concern. Benedict Wong was great, plays the straight man very well. Matt Nicholson, Khaleesi was pretty good, showed some good menace, but typecast. Tilda Swinton's another one to mention. She did a good job, though she's also typecast as the oddball character. And Joa Tal Edgy 04. He did a good job until the end credit. There's something with him writing-wise is not good. Everyone else is fine. They didn't really stand out. They just did their thing, and also they're working with the bare bones material. The villains, I get what they were trying to do. Extremist, organized religion, needed better execution. The main villain needed to be more in it and fizzles out towards the end. We had the faceless army CGI monster. Check off those comic book superhero cliches, yeah! The action, when the guys go outside the New York Sanctum, have a battle with the main villain and his henchmen, distorted billings, really cool visuals, a bit of Inception-esque to it. And inside the Sanctum 2 was a cool action sequence. Dr. Strange faces off Khaleesi and his henchmen. The humor was hit and miss. There was sometimes even the villain, Khaleesi, when he did humor, it seemed, took away from his menace. It was like, oh, I don't know, that's not good. Or Dr. Strange, it's like, he's better if he's serious. The one miss in particular, the joke with the one name thing about Wong went too long, just on and on and on. And it's like, move on already, come on, we get it. Ugh. The cinematography, a wide shot of Stephen Strange sitting at the living room table in his apartment. A wide silhouette of Stephen standing by his window with his head down, hands out in anger and pain. A wide of Doctor Strange and Mardo on the side of the distorted buildings looking out in shock and awe. It was a really cool shot. Interesting things to know that Benedict Cumberbatch almost didn't play Doctor Strange. He was working on a play, Hamlet. Their second choice was Joaquin Phoenix, which would have been interesting to see what kind of psychological or more character-driven it would have been. But he turned down a role because he didn't want to be involved with a cinematic universe and contract thing of being in so many films. Another one, the Ancient One, was going to be Morgan Freeman, was considered for the role, and Ken Watanabe. They went for Tilda Swinton and went for a Celtic background instead to break away from the stereotype of the old wise master thing. And they did a really good job on that. We see that depicted. Another thing, the dinguses, the MCU and Kevin Feige cut out major things for Doctor Strange, his backstory, and his whole motivation of what makes him a doctor. They cut out the whole thing about his dead sister falling into the ice and dying, and they filmed scenes too. What about you release a cut with this in it? Because that would have made the movie even better, given more character depth, especially for an origin film. Wake up. Just because he saved time, so you cut out the meat and potatoes, and what a bunch of idiots. Ugh. Overall, a pretty good film with some weak points. I recommend it if you're a comic book fan or a Benedict Cumberbatch fan. You'll definitely get something out of it. and definitely the acting elevates it from some of the weak points and weak writing or some cliches that are in it. It's election wording. Spoiler warning. It goes through this whole thing like he's this greatest doctor, kind of cocky, and then he gets into a car accident and destroys his hands and thinking it would humble him, but throughout he's kind of unlikable, and especially to Christine, he was like a real dick to her. Not cool. not cool at all. He goes over there, he's trying to find ways to fix his hands because he wants to go back to being a doctor. I also like that aspect. He's trying things and wants to learn things. Another thing I would say too, with the two leads, they were lacking chemistry. I mean, it made sense at first between the two characters, but then even after, when they finally more together, it still felt like they don't really connect still. He goes to fix his hands to this place that he heard from one guy that got fixed by it, what Benjamin Bratt plays. He goes, looks around, ends up finding the place. So he gets his hands fixed. They show him the other, even though he doesn't believe in it, the other dimension. He goes through the different dimensions, and it's like cool, trippy imagery, you see there. He's skeptical about it. Then he does eventually believe it, and he trains himself to learn the magic, and I also like that aspect as well. Though it couldn't need more of the training, like that he didn't, automatically knew it. You find out with the villain, that was in the beginning as well. He steals one of the scriptures, tries to get the magic, and releases Dormammu. You learn about that. And then you learn also about the Ancient One isn't really, there's something with her that's okay. Yeah, she uses the dark magic as well, and could be seen as a hypocrite, and rightfully so. Doctor Strange questions her, and it's not so black and white. There's a good visual when Doctor Strange is over there, he next to his bed, and he sees the broken watch. It's like a nice visual, just lets the visual do the talking. I love that scene. He's just looking at the broken watch in pain and grief. Missing Christine. The villain intervenes, so you get the battles, and the one villain they get wrong, Dormammu. He's so cool, the design. And I'll even put it in here with the drawing. He's like this big guy, like kind of leather, flaming skull. Looks kind of like Ghost Rider. He's a demon. I was talking to my friend Jordan. He said apparently the Cloud is just a one form of him. It's not actually him. So there's still hope that maybe we'll get the actual form if they make a third film. They get into the fights. The Ancient One self-sacrifices, kind of, and she's dying. She lets herself die and just goes. Doctor Strange is trying to save her. Oh, Stan Lee's cameo, that was funny. As always, he's great. Love it. Interesting thing, too, to find out for the Stan Lee cameo, James Gunn filmed that scene. So that's awesome to know. He is going to go to Dormammu, go into the other one, and then he makes the bargain thing. And you could say it's a little bit different because he keeps time looping, and it's kind of funny, too. It's still the CGI monster in the climax. It has that. He also meets Wong. He meets Mordo, too, who's a kind of like a teacher figure for him. It is interesting how Mordo ends up at the end of the film, says he questions everything as well, rightfully so, and says what we did is bad because we did the black magic, and then he just leaves and goes off on his own. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. If he becomes the new villain, the end credit derails all that, unfortunately. He goes to Dormammu, does the time loop thing, keeps dying. It's kind of funny. He does make the bargain, and it kills off Khaleesi's and his henchmen, and that's why I was like, wow, this is kind of lame and anticlimactic because they just defeat them easily, and it's like, what's the point of these characters? And he needed to be more fleshed out too. They didn't really give him enough. They're defeated, they disintegrate, go away, and Damara leaves, and then there's of course destruction of the city too. That's another comic book cliche. City in peril. Oh no! There is a good mature moment when he goes back to see Christine and apologizes, shows that the character developed. He learned from his arrogance and cockiness, becomes a better character as it progresses. I love that too about it. The end credits, I was mentioning Mordo, he sees Benjamin Bratt's character and then says, oh, what magic and all that, and then he steals his magic and makes him back to being paralyzed. It just seems like they derailed this character, that anything he had interesting going for him, because he's just a power hungry, I'm gonna steal all the magic. Give me the magic! Ugh, bad writing. The other end credit is with Doctor Strange and Floor, which is kind of a funny thing. I will say, Doctor Strange, I do want to read the comics now. It grabbed interest. This is Mike's Reviews, Art, and More. Follow me on YouTube, like and subscribe for more of these videos. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, DeviantArt, Letterboxd, Macari. I take movie review requests, so if you got any, put in the comments section below. I also take drawing requests too. If you got any drawing requests, put that in the comments section below. Do commissions. The one I did for Peter Pan and Wendy, making fun of the live action remakes. Coffee mug, to sell that too. What's going on? Re-recording the Baby Bird song with my uncle. I can't wait to do that. That's good. I'm going to be so excited. Nervous. I got to troll the breathing. Don't breathe into the microphone. I need to practice the song, but I'm very excited to release that. We know the outlets to iTunes and CD Baby. Release them as singles. That's the plan, to get each song individually. That sell the whole thing. Blues EP. The Harmonizers, I've been singing with the guys. I went to one show that was fun to do that, and my uncle, both my aunts and cousin were there cheering me on. Spending time with my family too after. Had a great time. I'm trying to see what other show I can do. Reviews. Cited Aliens, more out of theater reaction. I'm still doing some drawing, fan art, and getting a little progressively better. And then with these videos too, I got to see what other editing techniques I can do. Driving is good. I've been going places, so that's always good. I have more that freedom and able to enjoy that. Still have some sleep problems. I'm gonna make sure I sleep on time. Gotta exercise more too, get in a little better shape, and put intellect. And then I gotta see how I can inject humor as well. A little too serious. Try to inject more humor. What do you guys think? Doctor Strange, do you like the movie? Are there things you like or don't like? Let me know in the comments section below. Let's discuss. Where would I rate it? I guess a 75 to a 78 percentage. Like and subscribe for more videos. I'm open for constructive criticism, so let me know. This is an evolving process. It's definitely better than what my older videos were, and it's fun to do too. You peeps, have a good one. I encourage everyone to write, draw, sing, go out there, live your lives. All this crazy stuff going on. We need more writers, singers, drawers. We need good things out of this world. There's too much crap, too much bad things. We need people to build and design things too. That would be great. We need more of that. That's for you peeps. Stay creative.